Star Trek Picard! Jean-Luc, Data, Riker, and the Next Generation crew are back on the bridge. No, they're not! No, they're not! They are not! Quit lying. This is an absolute lie. If we had gotten this instead of this, people probably wouldn't be complaining now, would they? But no, we got this big load of Hello everyone, I am Becca Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube harpy. What are we talking about today? Well, Picard, remember this from a few weeks ago where they flat out lied to us about what was going on in Picard, even though for the last year I've been saying, no, it's going to do with after the Romulan star collapses, all the stuff from the comics and the JJ movie stuff, anything that was introduced past 2009, this is what we're getting for Star Trek. And is it good? No. Is it flat out bait and switch? Absolutely, because when you promise us something like this in our little preview, now this is the preview from episode 5.
Welcome, Captain Rios. I see your power conversion efficiency is only 91%. Remember, nobody knows the way around.
Little holograms. We got a little hologram thing, and I'm not going to show you the whole thing because, they can bite my copyright. This is 1000% fair use for critique as an explanation of what is wrong with this show. Like this.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Just that is the problem with the show. Just the blatant bait and switch. Because when we go from the cutesy little hologram stuff, hello Captain whatever your name is, hello Captain Beard Boy, to the very opening scene being this. Oh, and it's more graphic than that too. They actually show the eye coming out and the chick chopping it off. Yeah, that's what Star Trek am now. Because what? We couldn't have the cringe crap anymore from last time?
I like science.
Seriously, we couldn't have that stuff. No. They want this.
Sheer fucking hubris.
And it kind of makes me miss the cringe days of Discovery.
This is so fucking cool.
It is fucking cool.
Because at least you knew what you were getting. But here you go. This is kind of fun. Now, we're going to do a game of read the headlines and the big text only. Because that is what the mainstream media likes to direct towards their viewing audience, basically. The franchise veteran notes that Trek creator Gene Roddenberry would have never allowed such a moment in Next Generation. Now, they're really, this is a long about way of not talking about this scene. But they're really just talking about the more interpersonal drama stuff between Picard and Seven. Now, this is another little bit of a bait and switch here, because they're really not talking about the very, very disturbing graphic stuff that was so off-putting to so many viewers. When we were promised a little space romp and we got Saw. Yeah, we got that. And I'm cutting way before they do, because they actually show every graphic moment of that. They show everything. So if you don't like that type of stuff, which, I'm a horror person some days. I can take it or I prefer the cartoony stuff or the more fantastical stuff, like the monsters that come to get you, like the vampires and werewolves and stuff. I prefer those. So the real gruesome people getting hurt stuff is not so much for me. I like the more cartoony, the suspense of it and what I can imagine more so than just seeing it. Because once you see it, it's a little too realistic, especially if it's a character that you liked. But no, they give you this whole roundabout way of just completely avoiding that. They're just talking about their little interpersonal conflicts. They're not even talking about the actual disturbing stuff. But the other one I wanted to pull up real quick here, from Screen Rant, Star Trek Picard told its story all wrong. Oh, I agree. So Irish Romulans, they say very insulting things if you actually know what stereotypes they're going with, to pretty much the spirit of the show.
Sheer fucking hubris.
just everything about this. The tone is wrong. The spirit is wrong. The marketing's wrong. They want you to believe that this is, Data and Picard and Riker back out exploring the galaxy, and it's not. Data's gone. Data's gone. This has so little to do with Star Trek. I'm surprised they bothered bringing Patrick Stewart on board. Oh, why? Because he's the meme, isn't he? He's the one that people see with the face palm, and he's the one that they know. He's the one that's going to trick and deceive the old fans into coming back and watching this series. And you know what happens with that? We see tanking viewer scores on Rotten Tomatoes, and I know nobody really looks at Rotten Tomatoes for anything other than a laugh, but let's see what some of these people said. Horrible. And now this is the audience score for season 1. A nowadays typical corporate move. Afraid of putting out something new, they put a no name on something completely different. The show has nothing to do with Star Trek, which is what exactly what I've been saying. It is a bait and switch. Star Trek fictional hypothesis was that of an humanity involved, not only technologically, but also ethically and morally. Forget about that. Humanity here is the victim to its worst instincts. Yup, Characters are not deemed interested if they are not torn by remorse. And what do they mean torn? And overridden with guilt, just like the Dungeons and Dragons backstories invented by 13-year-old kids. Sad, very sad. Wow, what a disappointment. In TNG, Picard was assertive, bold, and clever. How can Patrick Stewart allow these new writers to destroy his character? He should focus he wanted to do this on purpose. See, Patrick Stewart, does not care about this character the way we think he does. He does not care about the character like we do. He cares about it enough for a paycheck, but really, at the end of the day, he is not out there trying to protect this character. He would only come back, and if you see all my old videos on this from last year, he would only come back if it was a very, very, very different Picard.
Fantastic.
I never believed this would or could happen because there have been numerous ideas and offers to bring the character or the series back in some way.
Yeah.
And I've always had to say, no, that is the past. I'm proud of what we did, but it's not going to be revived, certainly not in the shape of Patrick Stewart.
Right.
And it's quite different from Next Generation.
Okay.
It's 20 years on, which is exactly how much time has passed since we wrapped the series.
It would have to be different for you to go back to him.
You hit the nail on the head.
Absolutely awful, full of tired tropes, IKEA set design, and pacing like it's a British murder mystery on BBC at 12 a.m. I have no idea who this audience for the show is for. Shame Patrick Stewart himself can't rescue it. He seems as lost as his character is. This show disrespects Gene Roddenberry's vision. What happened to humans moving beyond greed, want, and suffering? That was covered in the first few episodes of TNG. There's no hope for humanity. And why all the F-bombs? Because they like them.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Because these people have no talent and they can't write anything beyond a bunch of F-bombs and this stuff. To be edgy. And be glad I'm saving you the whole thing. It's just a very, very long, torturous, drawn-out scene. It's about 35 seconds, but it feels like it's about 7 minutes. And now, we do have a response from the showrunner and main, head writer of Star Trek Picard, Michael Chabon, however you say. He's responding to somebody here, but, shout out to Robert Meyer Burnett for putting this out on the internet for everybody. And, if you haven't watched Robert Meyer Burnett, he is very much probably the most reasonable, level-headed, critical person of this show. Because you guys know me, I'm a big hothead. I'm the harpy with the writing crop, for emphasis. And I think Michael Chabon might, his response here might need some of this. So, get it handy just in case. He says, I am not unambivalent about the violence myself. The choice was not made lightly, though it was made collaboratively, and therefore with a good deal of conversation and debate among the creators. And so I assure you that it is not there simply because we can, or because we are trying, as you somewhat uncharitably put it, to be in. No. You try to do it to be edgy, to get attention, to get people to talk about it. That is the only reason. And because you don't have the talent to not resort to that sort of thing, at least in television. And if you do, you're certainly being held back by Alex Kurtzman and everybody else involved that are a little bit higher up than you. Even though Kurtzman's buggered off over to Clarice and probably has nothing to do with Trek anymore, hopefully he's focusing his time over there. My partners would all have their own reasons for its presence in the story, as some of us had our own reasons for shying away from it. For me, it came down to this. There has and always been violence, even torture in Star Trek, that you didn't see, that they cut away from. Are you not bright? That is the problem. They don't understand the context. They don't understand that, you can see something disturbing and fill in the blanks for yourself. You do not need to see this. Don't need that level of graphic violence. And I played the whole clip. I'm probably gonna have to trim that down for fair use, because bite my copyright. This is the difference. You would see an ensign or a lieutenant half in and out of a floor materialized, so you could fill in the blanks in your head. You would see a long decayed person who is basically just dust if you knock them over wrong. You wouldn't see it so graphic. You wouldn't see a bunch of corpsicles everywhere. You didn't see on-camera vivisections, basically. You wouldn't see that, and that is exactly what they're showing us in this, after promising a little romp over there in Space Vegas with holograms and stuff. And this is from their little Ready Room sneak peek. So no, he continues. So again, not the sharpest cookie. It seems a little bit defensive. Sometimes that violence has been implicit, sometimes explicit. No, it really wasn't that much, because you still had network standards and practices back then. Even though this was a syndicated TV series, it never went above a PG-13 rating. And that was so that people could enjoy it for everyone, because it was supposed to be uplifting. It wasn't supposed to be this hard-hitting drama thing where they're just F this, F that.
This is so fucking cool.
No, it wasn't all of that. It was something a little bit more refined and intelligent. Once you stopped going to those little crutches, you had to force yourself to be a little bit more creative in the restraints of the censors, in the restraints of standard and practices, and in the restraints of not having all of these interpersonal drama crap. Just have what? A really lazy, quick way of writing a script? Seriously. You're not getting it. And I'm tired of these people not getting it. According to the dictates of censorship, the nature of the situation being depicted, and the aesthetic of individual creators, or technical and budgetary limitations. And the reason that there has always been violence in Trek is that Trek is art. And there's always been violence, implicit and explicit in art. Not always. I mean, seriously, all I have to do is... This artwork was painted for a music festival that had nothing to do with violence. It belongs there. It belongs in the narrative about human beings. No, it doesn't. It does not belong in a narrative about human beings that have evolved past that. I don't understand where the fuck these people get on their goddamn fucking high horses and think that they know more than Star Trek fans about something that they've probably never seen an episode of. They've seen a couple of Cliff's Notes here and there, and I am so sick and tired of these people thinking that they know better just because they were hired by the company that snuck their sneaky little paws into a franchise. You know what? If you can't do the franchise right, don't do the franchise. And that goes for Star Wars. That goes for Star Trek. That goes for Batwoman. That goes for every franchise. And now that I need to calm down a second because I'm just tired of these people. He says violence is often the narrative. No, violence is always was often the last solution. That was the thing you were trying to avoid. We have evolved beyond it. See, humans did evolve needing that. And you know what else we evolved? We evolved our brains. We evolved our brains so that we could work around the violence. We could work around this petty crap. But you know what? If you're just going to get on your little Instagram post or your media post and just be a snotty little prick, then you know what?
fucking hubris.
And that is going to tank Picard. And you know what? I'm happy it's tanking Picard. You know what? Maybe the fans don't appreciate being lied to. Maybe the fans don't appreciate being bait and switched. Maybe we don't appreciate being insulted and telling us that you know better because you're paid to write this crap. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I am MechaRandom42, and I'll see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.